On a day when the Prime Minister announced the repealing of the three farm laws, which have been a reason for farmer protests and political protests across the country, I'm joined by Member of Parliament of Rajya Sabha and Congress leader Deepender Hooda. Good evening, Deepender Hooda. And what do you see these backtracking on farm laws, the repeal of the farm laws, as a victory for the Congress or the victory of the farmers?
No, it's not about any political party. It's the victory of farmers. It's the victory of Indian farmers' struggles. The agitation, in my memory and estimation, since independence, this has been one of the longest and largest agitation, which was broadly very much peaceful, and the farmers were very much disciplined in what they did for 1 year. Such a struggle and such an agitation is not an easy accomplishment. So, it's a struggle during which 700 farmers lost their lives, whether various dharnas, Tikri dharna, Singhu dharna, Ghazipur dharna. These are farmers who sacrificed their lives, their bodies were returning to the villages of Haryana, Punjab, Western UP, be it Lakhimpur. Farmers lost their lives, but still, they did not lose their calm and patience. And they stayed on the track of peaceful protest, peaceful agitation. For 1 year, Navika ji, I just left Tikri border. I was there in Tikri border just 5 minutes back before you started talking to me. There, I can share with you the video. Some people who are 86-year-old, 90-year-old, who have been there for one year. They've been sitting there and hoping that their government will listen to their voice one day. So that's what I mean by what I said earlier. This is what the decision of the Prime Minister today and the government today is totally a victory for Indian farmer. It is dedicated to those who have lost their lives. It is dedicated to the struggle of Indian farmer.
Mr. Deepender Hooda, some people have come out to try and explain this, saying that this announcement of the repeal of the farm laws actually is a statesman-like approach by the Prime Minister. Do you agree with that expression?
Navika ji, how can I agree with that? 700 farmers have lost their lives. If this decision was taken when the agitation started, in Parliament, we spoke as opposition, and the farmer leaders spoke, and they said the farmers are not going to go back home. The Indian farmer is not made of that metal that they are going to just accept a decision by the government. The decision was not right. So, had the decision been taken earlier, these 700 families would not have lost their near and dear ones. I visited these homes. इनके घरों में अंधेरा नहीं होता नविका जी अगर ये फैसला पहले हो जाता और that's why I can say to the point that there I durust hai, but to claim any statesmanship in this, I think it's a sad commentary on part of, I pity those who can even make such claims.
Mr. Deepender Hooda, you're a young politician, you're a young Congress leader, and I want to ask you, Indian farm sector, the Indian agriculture sector is certainly not based on the best practices. We have marginal farmers, we have lack of economic holdings, we have lack of modernization in the manner in which agriculture is done, and we also know that a bulk of our population is dependent on agriculture. These farm laws were also part of the Congress agenda when your manifesto came out. I want to ask you, today, yes, the farm laws have been repealed, the protests hopefully should come to an end, but do you think the agriculture sector and modernization and reforms of the agriculture sector have gone back by many, not just years, possibly decades? And doesn't that worry you?
I don't agree with that at all, Indian agriculture system is unique, Navika ji. Average land holding is just about an acre, and about 50% of Indian population is dependent on agriculture directly, as compared to the West, from where these farm laws and these market-based forces operating in the farm sector. Basically, this has been borrowed from American system and some of the Western European system, where the average farm holding is about 600 acre, and in every case, less than 1% of the population is dependent on agriculture. So in that case, the farmers as a single unit, a farm is a very strong economic unit, which can negotiate with big corporates, which can fight in the judicial system with these big corporates, and there's a level playing field. In Indian system, that's not the case. American system agriculture system was based on a principle: get big or get out. Either your farm size increases, or you get out of agriculture and you join services or manufacturing sector. In Indian case, we can't say get out. If they get out, where will the farmers go? So that's why what we should do in India is extend what has worked here. What has worked here is the Mandi MSP system of Punjab, Haryana, and Western UP, which has seen that average income of these farmers of these states is 3 times the average income of states like Bihar, who do not have APMC Act at all, who do not have mandis, and who do not have this MSP guarantee system. So I welcome private enterprise in Indian agriculture system also, by the way, but those cannot be just freely allowed to enter. Rules have to be and regulations have to govern them, so that the government protects Indian farmers and we have unique solution for our unique agriculture system.